wish you guys an early departure. I am leaving this world. Suicide. I am purposely and consciously, knowingly ingesting artificial sweeteners. I will be dead soon. So, I run a Twitter, Nick Wright, NWB, and if you're not following it, follow it because I've dedicated it to only dishing out facts after facts after facts on nutrition, on everything from how many different calories are in, a gram of protein, carbs, fat, alcohol, all that stuff, the basics, up to the molecular difference of a multivitamin. And even the differences of, how testosterone boosters don't really work for you. And how much testosterone is actually elevated when you take one versus how much it needs to be elevated, etc., etc. Basically, it's a whole lot of fun. Follow it. You're going to get all sorts of crazy nutrition facts thrown your way. Anyway, on that Twitter account lately, the biggest thing I've been getting called out for and the biggest argument I get hit with 24/7, the old classic protein absorption argument. So I'm going to keep it nice and simple for you. There is no limit to how much protein you can take in one sitting. There's not. You're not going to piss it out. You're not going to... Whatever crazy idea you think is going to happen is not going to happen. Think of it logically for a second. Before we get into the actual science of it, think of it logically. If there really was a limit of like 25 grams of protein per sitting or even 50 grams per sitting, we would be extinct by now. The caveman tribes, all like the old human tribes would have died out. And if you're a creationist and you don't believe in cavemen, just look at the simple old Native American tribes. They wouldn't have survived either. Do you think they had the option of having a source of meat every so often, every few hours to live? I mean, they would hunt and they would eat whatever they could kill at that time. You think they'd really hunt down this big old buffalo and only be able to eat like a leg of it at one time because they can't absorb any more than that? If that were the case, that entire buffalo that they hunted down would go to waste and they would have died because their body couldn't metabolize enough protein to actually sustain life. Like, it's just common sense. A lot of these BS myths and rumors came from either gimmicks from supplement companies or people misunderstanding information. And what I mean by that is I believe this whole idea of a limit on protein intake first stemmed from people misunderstanding how protein actually works, because there is a limit to how much protein will actually be synthesized and go into anabolic effect, as in how much actually goes into muscular gains at one time. And I believe Lane Norton says roughly on average about 30 grams is the limit. In one sitting, 30 grams can go into muscular gains to keep it nice, short, and sweet. But that doesn't mean the rest of the protein just goes to waste after that 30 grams is metabolized. What actually happens is, as Kyle Hunt was telling me earlier, it will still get digested into the bloodstream, and it'll basically be held, the remaining protein will be held into what's essentially an amino pool. And then once that first 30 grams is synthesized and fully utilized, your muscles will then reach into that pool and continue taking more amino acids. So again, it comes down to the fact that your muscles are going to utilize everything they need as it comes. Once they're done utilizing it, they're going to go back for more and continue taking it and taking it and taking it until that entire intake of protein is completely gone. So it'll just take a long time. It'll take hours and hours and hours to digest, but you will efficiently digest it. Your body's good at that. It's not going to go to waste. If anything, you can say it gets put on hold. But anyway, I think that limit of how much your muscles will actually utilize in one sitting of about 30 grams, sometimes 50 grams, I believe people heard that at one point and they misunderstood it, and they thought that that 30 to 50 gram limit was the limit on how much can actually be digested or absorbed, and it's not the same thing at all. So any amount of protein within reasonable, realistic limits can be digested and absorbed. And all of it will essentially be utilized over time. It just takes that much longer to digest, which is not a big deal. It's not a bad thing. Now, little factors that'll come into play here. One is the bioavailability of a protein, how bioavailable it is. And a less bioavailable protein, you're not going to digest all 200 grams of it if you take in 200 grams. But that's just a reflection on the actual protein source itself. Another big factor is leucine. It's a very popular amino acid. You'll see it advertised on a lot of different whey proteins now because leucine does come into play for protein metabolization. Now, Kyle Hunt, my contest prep coach, he threw the number of about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to maximize protein synthesis per sitting.
So a whey protein that has an amazing leucine profile to it is going to max out your anabolic response at about 30 grams or so, which is good. That's basically saying less is more. A lesser quality protein with a weaker amino acid profile, less leucine, it may take about 50 grams to meet that max just because it's a less available protein in that sense. Fun little fact, guys, when it comes to leucine, don't bother buying it free form because if you're not mixing it with other essential amino acids, it's almost pointless. But it does play a major role in your protein, especially your whey protein. So I hope this helped, guys. There is no limit in how much protein can be absorbed in one sitting. Eat as much as you want. It's simply going to take that much longer to digest. There is a limit how much actually goes to your muscles at one time, but it's not like the remaining protein goes to waste. It just basically gets put on hold until your muscles is done utilizing that protein. It'll just continue taking from that pool of amino acids until it's completely done, and you need mo protein to make mo gains. Subscribe now if you like this channel. Hit me up on Twitter or the Facebook page, both in the info box below. For any natural bodybuilder is push-pull legs. It's simple, it's higher volume, it's more consistency. It's great for strength and muscle hypertrophy, and I've been putting it off forever. But finally, I got the printout from my man Daniel Reese. He sent me the full rep-for-rep, set-for-set regimen, and we're kicking it off this week back at Wolfgang's Gym, Richmond, Virginia, the best gym in the world. Today is push day number 1, so it's strength training, lower reps, heavier weight. 110-pound dumbbell press on the incline bench. We're doing 4 sets of 5 reps each, although I think I accidentally got 6 reps in that last set because I can't count. So that felt amazing. After the 4 sets of incline bench, we moved on to flat barbell bench. Now,